Good evening, 8:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the East Coast in the United States of America. This is T-Speaker 222 with Swing Traders Anonymous. It looks red, but that's not telling the story. As we know, it's not red. We just flipped over on the clock, so it's kind of deceiving on some of this the way it looks. So like I say, when it's looking green, when it's really looking red, this is looking red on here, but it's a green day. Don't make any mistake about it. We've had a nice pump today. So when we talk about the state of crypto today, we have to talk about one of two things. One, when we're looking at these patterns, and we're going to redo Bitcoin so we can get the exact trend line and exactly what's going on, because it looks like we're at a spot where we're hitting heavy resistance, but we've got to, let's draw this out accurately. We finished off a cup and handle here. So this is the most important part of this pattern, ladies and gentlemen. A cup and handle is bullish to the top, but generally bearish when it gets there. You know, so you've got, hey, we got our cup of coffee. So we came down. I thought we were going to come down a little bit farther before we made this push, but there's no set rules. So we came up here. Now we're pushing. Now the odds are, even if we get a burst off, I don't think it's going to go to 50. But if we get a burst off the top, or we're just going to pour out. But now we've got to make a decision, because now we've hit this ultimate resistance spot now that we're on the cup. So now that you've seen that, the cup and handle is irrelevant, because that's not what I'm showing. That's not what I'm doing right now, but that's what I wanted to show you. Because when you start to get into this, it looks like we're starting to round the top here a little bit, and you haven't really seen much of it like this, besides this sideways and up before this extension. So this looks like it's starting to reverse a little bit here at the top. So this is where we have to play with caution, and we don't want to get in too much trouble here. If you're in a position, I play it for the people that are in a position. Even if I'm not, I look at it. If you're from a position, what are we looking for and whatnot, yada, yada, yada. So let's get back into the 4 hour. We can see, sorry, an animal just ran by me, and I'll show you guys the exact view that I have, which is not much. Well, I guess I could turn this video part on. But yeah, this is, oh, it's my cat. Ran over here too. What are you chasing, Ghost? But like, my backyard is so like, because I have a, like, I don't know, you guys can kind of see a little, but back here, there's like this tree. Well, there's a big apartment complex over there, but it looks nice over here at night. But fucking animals run through here, because I have a pretty big backyard for the area, as you can see. So, but Jesus, scared the crap out of me. My cat is on patrol. So anyhow, we're gonna draw the exact trend lines, guys, because if we have the trend lines, we can see it, and we can show you also the other trend line on Bitcoin that some are starting to say, prematurely I might add, but some are starting to say that this is the kind of pattern we're already in. But we're gonna go over it, and you guys can make an educated and informed decision here on Swing Traders Anonymous. This is not about a swing trade. This is not about anything other than, let's see what the pattern is, what kind of channels we're in. Because I believe we've come over the channel. Because we can say we're on, because you're touching them. I mean, some people would come up here, but I don't think we would. I think if you're doing that, you would say, hey, that's a, if this is the top, though, I mean, if it blows past us, this blows this out of the water, right? So that's what you could be looking at for the downward channel. We've come down, come up, come down, come up. We're going to come back down, or we're going to keep going up. So, and then you can come back here. We'll come, because we started here, so we'll just go here, just so we're parallel. Because we dropped, we started up there, we dropped. So we're going to use the same, ah, shit, I put that one on. Forgive me, I've sinned. And this is just something we're observing right now. We're going to see if it holds true. So we're hitting our touch points. We don't know if it's going to hold true. We don't know if this pattern's going to hold true. But right now, this is what we're looking at. A sideways channel, or a downward channel, that we've been trading within since we Fell down from 54,000. It hasn't come outside these two zones, except for a tap on either side. So, and then you start looking at some targets, and the fact that this looks like in the daily time frame, and we can start looking at this, you know, we can really start measuring this out now. We needed some data. That's why we couldn't, you know, we didn't know how to measure it up. But this is what it looks like it's doing if you're starting to look at it in the real scope. Or you can say this and say that it was like this, but then that's not accurate. If you're doing it right now and you're doing the channels on the daily, this is how you would do it, because the daily just closed. So I can get the accurate daily candle now. There's no reason to speculate. We just had a daily close. Why the hell would I speculate? This is proven history now. Now we have something to go on for this downward trend. So now we're going to see how it reacts. We're going to see if it keeps trading between the... You're seeing it right now. Down. Back up. Are we going to come back down? And are we going to do this? We don't know. But if you're in that wedge, that's what you're trading between, and we can't hide what it is. Now, on conversely, well, Tom, is there a chance we could be starting a up channel? You know, some people are saying, hey, we're starting on XRP. You know, I can show you what I mean. Some people are saying we're going through the channel to the upside, even though that's our channel we're trading between. And our close, you could actually make this more accurate now, and you can pull this out a little bit. But if you keep it like this, that's the channel we're trading within. But we had a daily close now that can confirm where the top part is. We don't need to guess now. We had a daily close that's directly linking those points on a downward trend. And it actually starts to become much more accurate when you start to do this. So we had the daily close right there, so you line it up with the candle. That's it. And we're still ending up in the same spot. It's just our zone's a little wider than we had put it. Even though it's not inaccurate, it's still just like that. We're touching the candles. We came down to a point of contact. And now we're going to see how it reacts to this area. Like I said, this is a very key area. Nothing's changed. So I hope you guys enjoy this, because it's the same thing here. So now you've got a couple points where you could say, hey, Tom, is it possible we're starting like, you know, it's only trading between this channel, but, you know, it is starting to go up. Well, we don't have any evidence on that with Bitcoin, unfortunately. XRP, we have a little bit. You could start to say, because it got stuck in this area, you could start saying, hey, that's the low, that's the high. So, I mean, if you're going from those regards with Bitcoin, I mean, you could very easily, let's see what other line we have. We'll do the ray. So if you connect the ray, so now you got ray, right? So the up ray, ray's the up channel. So let's get ray up here, because you could say, hey, we might be starting something here. We don't even know, because we haven't hit any points down yet, but you could certainly try to say that and get away with it. But that's where it's hard. Like, we don't have a channel right here where we can just say, hey, that's what's going to happen. But I mean, I suppose if you got my nut squeezed, and I gotta say, hey, what are we looking at? Well, I would say, sir, we're incomplete here, but came down, went up. I mean, there's nothing I can really do here. We have no way of saying we're in an up channel yet. We don't have any history for Bitcoin. You could, even if you tried to say something like that, we hit the top, we come down, but you'd have to say it starts way up here, so it's so incomplete. Like, this would have to be something like, come on, Ray, but we got to do this right. Jesus, Ray. Yeah, it's you can't even really say you have an uptrend on Bitcoin, but we're going to try to do the best we can with Ray. So if we do something like, man, this is going to be so weird, but if we do something like this with Ray, and it's, I mean, it's an extremely uptrending Come on, Ray, quit interlocking. I know you have a 3-part system, but I don't need the 3rd. I mean, you could certainly say you have something right there, and that starts being a really uptrending support in a real way. Because you've got to go that fast, otherwise you're going to break back into the channel. So it has no choice if it wants to break up like that. It has to. It's going to be real tight. And then you've got up, down, up. So, I mean, you could come across just like that. And that's what I'm saying. It's so weird how this has to interact at these points. But if you want to go into the future, you can't. There's no way to do the uptrending support right here. Because we've only come down, up, and you'd have to come across. Unless you're saying in the future, we could do a future one like this and say, hey, we're going to come up like that based on what it looks like. But that would be kind of like, hey, we're bouncing up like that. But to me, if you were going to do it like this, you'd have to do it like this. Because that's where your support is when the daily closes. So again, that's how tight of a range Bitcoin's in. That's seriously on the spot technical analysis. And we have proof of this by the close, ladies and gentlemen. We can come up to the close. And then you can say, hey, we ran off the top on a candle right there. But that's where the close is at. So now all of a sudden we're trading within this area on a downward channel. But that's where we have to make up our mind. And then if we ride past that, it could be uptrending support. And then if somehow it did do that by all miracles, you could say, all right, we bounced up here. And now we're going to have an uptrending channel. Move this back. And maybe that would be what it would trade in between. Then you could say, okay, maybe. But it's still got to break some of these key areas. So that's what we're looking at with Bitcoin. So I hope this helped. I know it's confusing. But we're in such a key spot right now that I think this is important. And I think me showing you that like this might make it a little bit easier. So if we continue down the downward trajectory, we'll come like that. We're in a very small trading box right now where we've got a bunch of things that can go on. So I hope this helps. Stay blessed, everybody.